What's going on, Rowdies? It's your boy Pat Young here, locked in for another episode as we are on our way to the tournament, on our way to getting this thing going. But you are here right now on my podcast. Thanks to the Field of 68 Media Network, this is the Young and the Rowdies. So thankful for each and every one of you that's been tuning in every week. I'm so excited that it's finally that time, that college, what we love about college basketball is right now. So in this episode, I have someone that has actually played in a national championship game back in 2000. His nickname was the Enforcer. I haven't spoken to him in such a long time, and it's awesome to get into a lot of different things. I can't wait. An emotional leader on the court, someone that has really, through his tenure, one of Billy Donovan's first recruits in the first recruiting class. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. So as I just said, it is time to get to our next guest, the Enforcer, all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Major Parker. What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
How you doing, Patrick? How you doing, man? I'm great.
Man, I'm doing
thanks
well.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor. You know, I gotta be honest, bro. You were probably out of everybody that I had on the show, the easiest person to get. Just set it up. We set a date, set a time, and just everybody else has been like, yeah, we'll get it done, or yeah, I'll get on the podcast. All right, can you give me like a set time, or like, can you text me back? I understand. We grown now. People got stuff going on, but I really appreciate you doing that for me, man.
Hey, that's because they didn't pay close attention to Tom Williams. Tom Williams taught us all about the time management and everything.
Hey, man, Tom Williams, he had to get on me my freshman year.
All of us.
That's my guy, but he had to really get on me my freshman year. He had to because I came getting recruited, telling them my parents, obviously the education was a huge part for me and wanting to go to Florida, and me just saying all the stuff that I'm a good student, X, Y, Z, whatever. But he set me up. He gave me a 7:30 a.m. class. Come on, man. Yeah. He set me up, bro. And I couldn't always hear my alarm,
Exactly.
But he and I were able to figure it out. So everybody here with Major Parker from Fort Lauderdale, right?
From Fort Lauderdale, yes.
From Fort Lauderdale, currently in Fort Lauderdale. I'm so thankful that the weather is finally. This is the perfect weather for me right here. It's still sunny. It's sunny, but the weather's still cool. Because we about to hit that summer and it's about to be slapping.
It's about to be scorching hot. I was telling my one of my close friends the other day. I was like, it's a perfect day because it's one of those days where you could put on sweats, you could put on shorts. It was one of those days. It didn't matter. It was a perfect weather day. And then this morning when I woke up and I went outside, I didn't see a cloud in the sky.
Yeah,
like it was beautiful down here. So it's a beautiful day.
So Major, you know a little bit about this podcast. We just get a chance to dive through everyone's journey that's gone through Florida basketball from the beginning, where they started their basketball journey to where they are now, how we are all connected through this program, and what we've learned, the men that we've become, etc. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it may be, and just how it's molded us. But let's start back from the beginning, brother. Let's start back. How did basketball start with you growing up, your childhood?
Basketball started with me as a child because I came up in a family where my dad and my uncle played basketball. My dad played basketball in every men's league around the city of Fort Lauderdale. My uncle was fortunate enough to go play at Iowa State. So I watched my dad and my uncle play, and then growing up watching the guys from the neighborhood that played, going to park to park, just always being in competition with other neighborhoods, other parks, that's where it started at. It started at the park. And it's funny how things come full circle, because now I'm back at that same park doing the same thing with other kids that one of my coaches was doing with me. So it's excellent. Basketball has been a vehicle for me. Basketball has taken me around the world for free. That's one of the things that's so great about it when you're committed to it. But my journey started here in Fort Lauderdale. From Fort Lauderdale, here in Fort Lauderdale, I went to Cardinal Gibbons High School. I believe, Torian Green went to Gibbons for a little bit. And then from Gibbons, I went to the University of Florida. Florida was great, got a chance to win a couple of championships, play for a national championship, meet some great people, develop some great relationships, played for what I consider the best coach in the world to me, Billy Donovan. Just the things that he possesses from us as a player, then also as a man and a husband and a pillar in our community, teaching us so many different things. Basketball has been nothing but great and fantastic for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna dive into all that on this episode. So
yeah.
Before we fast forward, when going in your journey, your upbringing with ball, who was someone that really helped you? Because we all probably grew up playing multiple sports.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing baseball, basketball, ran a little bit of track. I
Mm-hmm.
swam for a year. My dad just wanted me. He was playing a little bit of golf. I still play, and I wish I would have kept playing golf. So my game, when I'm going out there playing and stuff, so I could actually be, kicking people's butts. But what was when did you figure out? Was it always just basketball that you knew that switch path?
Pat, it was always basketball. That hashtag that they say now, ball is life. That was out for us in the early '80s. Yeah. Basketball was always life, and there was a guy that was down here by the name of Melvin Randall. He is he was the head coach at Ely High School. Now he's the head coach at Chaminade Madonna. I think he has the most winning state championships as a coach, as a high school head basketball coach in the state of Florida. He was a guy that came from my neighborhood, had the opportunity to go to Mercer University, where he excelled and got a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. And I remember when I wasn't old enough, but I just remember when he came back from playing ball, when it was all done, he became a coach. And when he became a coach, I was one of the kids that was around. And, just everything that Mr. Randall taught us, it was basketball in life, keep staying focused, staying on track, basketball, that was the thing. So I never ventured out with other sports just to say competitively. I obviously growing up in South Florida, you're going to play some football, but I played street football. I didn't play taekwondo. Yeah, I didn't play any organized football. Exactly, sideline pop, all of that. But I just never played football or anything else because I was just so indulged in basketball.
Yeah.
My dad played, my uncle played. I had Mr. Randall who had went away and played. Then there was guys that came before me in the neighborhood that played. So, I come from a neighborhood where Mitch Richmond grew up at, from a city like Eddie Jones was down here as one of the guys. So you was always trying to be the next one. So, that was my mission was always try to be, the best.
Yeah.
And represent Broward County and Fort Lauderdale to the best of my ability. So that's the history of, Major Parker and basketball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes to show, you look at, your high school career, you went down as breaking records in scoring, leading the team to, at least minimum the Elite Eight every year that you were there. I always ask these guys that have been or that have been on the show, what moment for you did you realize dang, I'm that guy, or it's clicked for me that we're not looking for someone else. When it comes down to it, coach is looking to me, or I have, eyes are on me when I step in the gym, dang, he's a dog. That's that dude, he's going to be tough. When did you, because I think a lot of guys that I've had on the show, they just talk about how they had to come into that confidence, because it's getting recruited and playing for Billy Donovan. That's not something that just happens. It's something, got to be something about you that he's going to notice, not only just the way you play, but your character, the way that you carry yourself. So, when was it was it in middle school? Was it in high school that you were like, all right, you know what, I got a really good chance to do something with this gift I've been given?
You know what, Pat, it was probably for me, I was what you called I blossomed very early. I was developed very, very early.
Okay.
So it came from me at a young age, I would say about 8th, 9th grade. And I just remember being like, that's when travel ball and AAU ball wasn't as huge.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember being picked on a travel team, but everybody on the travel team was in the 11th grade going into their senior year. And I was only eighth grader going into high school. And I just remember being on that team and I was able to contribute, because I'm on a team with, this guy was an All-American, this guy was that, this guy was this. And I was like this 13, 14-year-old kid that was able to, I'm out there banging with them. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared. So at that moment, it was just like, I really may have a chance at doing this, seriously. And then when when that next year, I was fortunate enough to go away to the ABCD camp, my 9th grade year going into my sophomore year. And I remember going away, it was myself, like Tracy McGrady, Brent Wright, Udonis Haslam, Teddy Dupay. It was a ton of Florida kids. And I remember us going to Teaneck, New Jersey. And this when Kobe was there, Stephon Marbury, Tim Thomas, Lamar Odom. It was Kobe, it was so many people there. But I just remember us leaving that camp as a clique of Florida guys where we were just known predominantly for football, but we walked away from that camp, Keon Dooling, Clarence Gilbert, we walked away from that camp, but all of us got some type of accolade. All of us was acknowledged in some type of way. And I'm not talking about like small acknowledgement. It was like huge acknowledgement. So it made me realize like, you know what? We're pretty good. We can do this, And then I never forget, it was like 10th grade, man. And, I don't mean to speed the process up, but I remember telling Brent Wright, I was like, Brent, I don't think I want to leave the state to go to college. I think I want to stay in state, bro, because I don't have to go to Kentucky to try to win a national championship. We're good enough right here.
Yeah.
You understand? So I remember thinking those things and having those visions as a young pup, like 9th, 10th grade, dreaming of that vision, watching the meat hooks and the Darren Crosses and all those guys.
Yeah.
I remember that, bro. And it was just like, man, like I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Not only because it was just the Gators, because I'm be honest, I didn't know a lot about the Gators. It was more of it because it was in Gainesville, Pat, and it wasn't too close to Fort Lauderdale or Miami. So I can get away and my family could come see me. But it was one of those things where I got a chance to get off the porch too,
right.
And be my own kind of man. So I was always attracted to Gainesville. Like, dang, it's only 5 hours away. You understand? Then I had family in Ocala. So it made things a lot easier. But and the icing on the cake was when the meat hook came down here and they played UConn. And I think it was the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four. And they beat Donnie Marshall. I don't know if you remember Donnie Marshall, but Donnie Marshall was like this. He was All-American, college All-American. He was everything for UConn. And Meat Hook and Dan Cross and those guys and the clerk and those guys, they gave it to him. And I remember saying, you know what? Maybe I want to go to the University of Florida. Maybe that's where I want to go. And, Coach Donovan got the job and he came down and started recruiting us, man. And, the rest was history.
Yeah, they say, Coach Donovan was, such a relentless recruiter, but, that's such a, going back to ABCD. Was that in Pennsylvania at the time?
No, ABCD at the time, Pat, was in Teaneck, New Jersey. That's where it was.
New Jersey.
Yeah, Teaneck, New Jersey.
Where that's at.
Yeah, that exactly. It's about, man, that was 94, 95, and 95, 96 when it was in Teaneck. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, our story's in line there that I went to ABCD camp, but it was called Reebok All-American. I think they had they just changed it the only year that I went there. And that was a catalyst for my recruiting. I wasn't really getting recruited, wasn't on the map at all. But that's when I truly started getting into my body and dominating. And then after that camp, man, the recruiting just was too much to handle. Honestly, I wasn't because I was still trying to be a kid at the time. I was still just enjoying, the game. I wasn't at that point where, a lot of these kids these days, and I hate to say it, they just want to get an offer from a school without any intention of going there, just to say I got offered by this school offer me. or whatever, without any like, and it's like, dang, these grown men, these coaches are like putting everything they have into this recruiting stuff, you know? So it's definitely changed a lot. So what was, when you first started getting recruited, you know, we'll get into Coach Donovan, but what was that process for you? Like when the letters started coming in, of the calls, you know, how did that go?
It's one of those things, Pat, like in the beginning, like you said, you're like, I'm not getting recruited. I want to be recruited. And then when it started happening, you're like, whoa. It's just, you know, it's overbearing. Like you really get, for better or lack of words, you get tired of it.
Yes.
You know, you get tired of it. You get tired of, and then I was brought up in a household where I was raised by my grandparents, and they were huge on respect. So I had to answer the phone. I had to take the call. You know, I had, you know, so it was one of those things like when my other friends were like, hey, Coach such and such called, I didn't pick up. But when everybody called me, Pat, I had to pick up because that's the way I was raised. Yeah. You know, my grandmother was like, somebody's calling you, you pick them up. You pick up the phone, you answer the phone, you know, yes, sir, no, sir, and all of that. So I went through the entire process with every single coach. And I remember feeling bad when I had to, you know, combine it and break it down to my 5, because I didn't want to tell the other coaches that, you know, I'm not interested or I'm not going. And then when I got to the 5, it was like, now I got to do this.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm going to say. Coach Anthony Grant, he made it very comfortable for me in the recruiting process. It was a thing where I know, because I remember when Mr. Foley, he had hired Coach Donovan. Coach Donovan came down, and the first trip he made was to Fort Lauderdale to come see me. That was enough right there, Pat. I didn't tell him, but that was enough. You understand? That was enough. You know, that was enough. But Coach Grant was the one educating me on how to handle the recruiting process. Never talking down on another university or another coach.
Yeah.
Just always make sure you be professional. Make sure you handle the kind of the same thing I was hearing in the house, but it was being reiterated by Coach Grant.
Right.
And that really helped me out in that recruiting process. But it was overbearing. I was so happy. Like, man, I committed early. Like, I didn't much wait till like the signing day and all that. I just wanted to get it over with because I wanted to focus on my senior year. I had already passed my SAT, my ACT scores were great. My GPA was great. So I wanted to get everything out of the way and just enjoy my senior year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, me too. When it came to just that recruiting process being overwhelming, I committed after my sophomore year that summer, or going in the beginning of that season, the college basketball season. Because I remember Shaka Smart was recruiting me, and I had come down on a few unofficial visits.
I remember.
I didn't even I didn't even tell my parents. It was after a game, sitting in there in the office with Coach Donovan, my parents there, and I was just like, you know what, Coach, I want to commit. I'm committed to Florida right now.
Yeah.
just like it was like, what was I waiting for? But you know, what's sad is I don't know, it's sad, but I've heard nothing but fantastic things about Coach Grant. I never got a chance to really sit down and talk with him. I hope I can get him on the show. I know he's doing fantastic over there at Dayton. Fantastic last year. I don't know if they're doing as well this season, but I've heard nothing but fantastic things about Coach Grant. It's not a surprise that he would be part of Coach Donovan's tight-knit circle, but really, you know, we got a chance to beat up on him a few times. He was over at Alabama.
That's right. He was at Alabama when you was there. That's right.
Yeah, he was over at Alabama. He went from VCU to Alabama.
Yeah.
To, went
OKC.
OKC with Coach Donovan. And then I think he went to Dayton. But you know, nothing but fantastic things about him. So during you kind of just gave it away when it came to Coach Donovan. When he came down, you were in that first recruiting class under Coach Donovan. What was it like? You know, did he have to really sell himself to get you? But you kind of already knew, like, you wanted to stay in Florida, as you said, come from that camp. You know, the guys probably that were already committed before you. I think Teddy Dupay was the first recruit. That Coach Donovan ever had, I think, that signed. Like, was there something about him that just stood out that from the others?
All right, let me give you a little history lesson, okay?
Let me get a history lesson. Give it to
All right.
me.
Teddy Dupay was the first verbal commitment.
Okay.
You're talking to the very first commitment. I'm
Let's
the
go.
very first committed.
Okay.
I started this race.
That's what's up.
And I'm saying it very humbly. I started this race. But it wasn't a huge selling point with Coach Donovan. Like I said, it was more of Coach Grant and then myself and Brent Wright. Like Brent and I have been knowing each other since 8th and 9th grade, Pat. And he played at Miami High. I played at Cardinal Gibbons. And we always went to war against each other. And one of the things was, man, what if we played together?
Yeah.
What if our toughness came together? What if our leadership qualities came together? And I remember telling Brent through the recruiting process, I was like, Brent, I'm going to Florida. And he was just like, MP, I'm going to Florida. You know? So it was like, that was the thing, man. It was like, I think I committed one day, and then the next day Brent committed.
Yeah.
And Pat, it was more about representing the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And changing the perspective of us being only football in the state. And that goes for Miami, Florida State, USF, UCF. We wanted to make sure that, I think Brent could have went anywhere in America. I had several places I could have went. But Florida was one of those things was like, man, we home. It's not too far away. Coach Donovan, he seems to be great because you don't know until you get there. You have to be real. He seems to be great. Coach Grant was a Miami High guy. He was from Miami High. I remember hearing stories about Coach Grant when he was in high school. So that was familiar. And it was just Florida was a perfect fit. I just felt like it was the right fit. And then after that, we had Udonis. And that's when the Udonis and Mike Miller and Teddy Dupay class came. So that was a huge catch for us. And Eddie Shannon was already there, who was the Florida guy, who was from Palm Beach, who was way before his time, let me say that. Eddie was a ball player that was before his time. Like, he could still play. Like, the way they play today is the way that, Eddie played back when we played as
that
guards.
Reminds me of Teddy Dupay.
Yeah,
looking at his game. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing, man. So it's like you already have Florida guys there. Teddy and I, like myself, Brent, Teddy, we all played on the same travel team. So it was like, man, every year we're top 5 in the country in travel basketball. So why would we break this up?
Right.
Why would we do that? And it was just, and we love to compete. Like, Teddy's a competitor. You understand?
Oh,
Teddy loves to compete.
He wants to win in everything.
Everything. Brent loves to compete. I love to compete. Udonis love to compete. That was the whole, everything's competition with us to this day. Yeah. To this day, like Teddy's training kids. I'm counting how many kids he got in the gym because I'm trying to get more kids in the gym than he got. I'm just keeping it, it's the competition, but the competition is what made us so different and set us apart.
Well, that's what you want, when you look at, I think, and you can attest to it better than I can because you're more involved with kids and coaching and in that aspect. But it just seems like sometimes kids are afraid to be competitive, are afraid to, there might be one kid that stands out, and he might be afraid to just, quote unquote, step on everybody's throats, be that killer. Because that's going to help you have that Mamba mentality that every time I step on the court, we can be friends after this, but like, we're playing a game. I'm playing this game to win. So if I'm better than you, I'm going to win. And your response needs to be like, oh, it should, if you're losing, I need to get better. Look how good he's getting. I need to get better so I can beat him. And that's going to continue to elevate. But a lot of times it's just like, oh no, I don't need to, I don't want them to think that I'm just trying to be better than everybody or I'm afraid to shoot the shots or whatever, do this. And it's like, nah, like you're taking away from your potential for one, and you're hurting, creating a bad message, a bad narrative about the world. because if you can excel at something, go be the best at it, right? Go be, that's gonna raise everybody else's level.
Pat, just picture this, brother. See, you was an All-American. You was everything. You was everything coming out. Okay. Now, myself and Brent Wright, yeah, we was Mr. Florida or whatever, but now we're on a team where it's all McDonald All-Americans. You understand? Everybody is USA Today this, USA Today that. Donnell Harvey is the #1 player in the country. You understand? Mike Miller is the #1 player in the country. Teddy Dupay can shoot the ball from half court. Ladarius Halton is being compared to Michael Jordan at the time. Kenyon Weeks shoot the ball like a machine. You understand?
Yeah.
So you got Jason Williams, White Chocolate, who you never heard of, but you know damn well this guy's a first-round draft pick from the minute you step on the floor with him. So when you're seeing all this talent and you're seeing all of this, I revert back to the park that I grew up on that taught me my competitiveness, my toughness. You understand? So in today's world with kids, they run away from that. They are afraid to embrace the competitiveness. They are afraid to embrace that, you know what, Patric may be better than me today, but is he going to be better than me tomorrow? You understand? They're afraid of that. That's what I think. And that was the thing that made us so special with that group that I played on at UF. We were 5 in, 5 out. On any given night, anybody could have went for 20. I think Mike Miller was our leading, Udonis was our leading scorer, and he averaged like 13 and a half points. So it's just, it's different. It's different, but I'm not here to bash the differentness of it because I understand it, but it's just different, man. It's different now. Guys are more about self.
Yeah.
Guys are, when I played, we really sacrificed for each other. Like literally, Pat, we would go in the locker room, and you guys did this too. You know how it is after the game. Everybody grabbing that stat sheet, looking at that stat sheet. Like literally, what we used to look at? Man, how many shot attempts? Who got this? The most shot attempts would be 10, Pat. Like Mike may shoot the ball 13 times. We talking about Mike Miller shooting the ball. You understand? Udonis may only shoot the ball 8 times. So we were that competitive, whereas like, say we came in there and Mike shot the ball 17 times or something. We're like, ho, Mike, you gotta cut that. You gotta cut that out. You gotta cut that out, bro. Like, our Teddy don't jacked up a couple of, Teddy, hold up. You had a good shot, but Teddy, Justin Hamilton was open for a better shot. We held each other accountable in those things, bro.
That's tough to get to that level, though. It takes, and we're gonna get into that. Staying in that realm, Coach Donovan being able to cultivate that environment around such great players every day in practice, and I already know, man, from experience, how he really just continued to help us embrace loving each other and loving that competitive nature and. In the mindset, defensively, don't let the next man down. Do your job. And do your job well. You should know exactly where you need to be, exactly on the rotations. Because if you don't, you're letting somebody else down. Like so what if your man doesn't score? Were you in your right position? Did you jump to the ball? Were you at the white line? Did you whatever it may be to help? Because it's all about help defense and making your defense seem bigger than it is. And for that split second. When a guy says he's coming off a screen floppy set, we had Coach Pelfrey told us 6 hands to the ball. Yeah. Like as soon you come around, like that guard, he's coming off. He thinks he might have a shot. The dude the ball came from. I'm jumping. I'm showing him my hands. Then the guy chasing showing the hands. The big man is showing his hands. So he literally gets the ball for a second, and he thinks, "Oh, I might have a shot." And he sees suffocation. He said, "Oh, I got 3 on me. Let me get the ball up." Yes, and that was our defensive mindset. That every time, even in I loved actually whenever a big guy would get the ball in the post because we would trap. We trapped as soon as he touched the ball was in his hands. You ain't got nothing, bro.
Because look, we know as ball players, the average big man, he gonna turn it over.
Turn it over. Yep.
Make a bad pass.
Yep.
Are you going to get a deflection on it, which is going to cause a bad pass? So it's all about that unit working as one. And that was the thing that they were so great at. And I hear you say John Pelfrey because Pell was one of my coaches.
Oh, really?
And yeah. And,
was he the same? Or
hey, no, it's funny. It's funny because Pell was like sort of the baby of the crew. You know, when he coached us, and he could still hoop, he could still play.
Okay.
Like Pell is legit. Like Pell is a bucket.
Still couldn't play no defense.
Yeah, that's for me to hear you say that he said put 6 hands. Like, yeah, Pell needed 6 hands to guard somebody. So I know that's true. But that's what I'm talking about. See, you got a chance to learn from those guys. Pell, man, I don't know if you know Pell's career, but Pell played at Kentucky where he was part of that crew that was on probation, and they came back and, they made a lot of things happen. Unfortunately, they lost a big game in the tournament by Christian Laettner shot.
Yeah.
But Pell was a big component, big instrument in turning that Kentucky program around. Oh, yeah. And getting it back on track.
Coach John Pelfrey was I know he was a bucket, but I always thought it was so funny. I'm like, how much emphasis he was on, like, getting on us about defense. And I loved it. I love, as a coach, the X's and O's, but I want to be like, Coach Pell, listen, man, I know you couldn't guard a soul when you was playing. I know you were a bucket, but I know you can't play no defense. So you got to give me give us a break.
Break. Nah, I'm with you on that. But see, what you got to realize though, Pat, for example, your weakest part of your game that you personally, I bet you can teach that better than your strongest part of your game.
Yeah.
Because all your deficiencies that happen that cause that weakest part of your game.
That's true.
So Pell, as bad as defensive player he was, he know all of the tricks.
Yeah.
He know all of the lazy man trades. You understand? He know it because he wasn't a great defensive player.
Right.
So he knew what to do in order to be a great defensive player.
Man,
he knew what not to do.
It's crazy being, not even if you don't have the quickest feet, just being able to know the right positions to be in can go a long way on defense.
Yes.
But, I want to get into some stories because I know you got plenty of them about your time there.
Yeah.
First off, let's get to your freshman year experience. When you got there as a freshman, 97-98 season. What was that experience like? What was Coach Donovan like? Your teammates? What did you expect? What did you? What exceeded your expectations? What was like? Getting with the life outside of basketball, all those things. Was the
life of college exceeded my expectations. Coming from Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, coming from a city, you think like, okay, I'm prepared for this. I'm prepared for this. I'm not going to lose any train of thought. I'm going to be focused. College not going to throw me off because I'm from the city. I'm used to the fast life. I'm used to things moving fast. I'll be fine. Those are lies. It's nothing like Gainesville, bro. Nothing. You understand? So like my freshman year, it was just like, I remember Brent and myself, we were just like, man, it's a party every night. We got to make a decision. Do we want to go to the party or do we want to go to the gym? You got Tom Williams on your back because you got a summer B class that you taking. So you getting acclimated into the summer courses and all of that. But you got to be there, like you said, you got a 7:30 class, but you want to go to the party tonight. So those were the things that I would say I kind of struggle with. But as far as the work, Pat, I love to work. I always work. Being in the gym, working, getting, doing my best to get better. That wasn't our problem. That wasn't our issue. Our issue was, man, we gonna go in the gym and go so damn hard till we got to go celebrate something.
I feel that.
So that was the thing. And then secondly, it was just being on your own, being away from home. Not hearing mom telling you up, just doing everything independently.
Yep.
That was something that was huge. It was huge. But once again, I thank Brent Wright because we always had each other's back. Like if Brent had a 7:30 class and he wasn't up and I jumped up, I'm going to make sure I get him up. I'm not just going to leave the room and leave him out there dry. You understand? And it was vice versa. Or if I was slacking one day in practice or whatever, Brent gonna get on my butt. And that's vice versa. I'm gonna get on him because we had a standard to uphold.
Yeah.
You know, coming from South Florida, you know, being Billy Donovan's first recruits, all of that. We had something to uphold. And the thing that we wanted to always, like Coach said, the thing that you can control is how hard you go. You can always control that, you know, no matter what. That's up to you how hard you want to go.
Right.
So the thing that was my freshman year was mostly about, you know, the hardest part was just the time management, man. I'm being honest with you. You know, understanding if something starts at 7:30, you need to be there at 7:15. You know, not trying to be there at 7:28. you know, so it don't work.
We all
way,
guilty
you know?
of it for sure.
Yeah, we all guilty of it, you know. So that was the biggest thing, man. And then just the structure and the discipline was huge, you know, because Billy demanded so much.
Yep.
You know, it was basketball. It was school and basketball. You know, it was school and basketball. And I always tell guys, man, and I remember I told Kenny Borton this when he was in high school. I told KB this. I was like, KB, man, I know all these schools recruiting you, and you go anywhere in the country. But if you want to go somewhere and learn the game of basketball, learn it and be great at it, like understanding how the game really goes, go play for Billy Donovan. Like you're gonna learn how to play basketball. You're really gonna learn, and that's gonna help you in your career. Because if you look at the guys that came from our program that had a chance to go off and play in leagues and play, like they are playing extended years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really believe, Pat, that has a lot to do with Coach Donovan and the staff that we was around and who we learned from in that, because the things that we went through, brother, in those trenches and the film sessions and the breaking down of you mentally and you learning to love your brother next to you and the sacrifice and all that, it all plays a part in what you're doing right now.
I know it, you know, going piggybacking off of that, we don't get to that understanding, you know, that mindset right away. Sometimes there's the word that a lot of people don't like, a process. Maybe Coach Donovan got to get on you a few times. Was there, you know, in that freshman year, that transition when maybe you're still trying to figure things out, time management, et cetera? You know, is there a story? Because I can think of plenty of times Coach Donovan had to get on me, kick me out of practice, et cetera, when he had to really humble you.
Freshman year, we're at Kentucky. Kentucky is ranked in the nation. They're like, as usual, they're like top 5 in the nation. This is my freshman year. Jason Williams with us, Kenyon, Eddie Shannon, myself, Brent Wright, Damon Maddox, like Greg Christelle. We go to Kentucky, and we had lost earlier that year to Kentucky at home because you do the home, you know, one home and away. And this was a televised game. I'm talking about 2:00 Sunday game. Everybody at home in Fort Lauderdale watching this game, Pat. Everybody. So Brent and I, we the freshmen. We out there. We're in Rupp Arena, first time. Which, let me say this, Rupp Arena is the easiest place to play. It's overrated to me. Like they only get loud when the game get excited. That's the only time. If you do it, you go in there and handle your business, they're gonna be quiet.
Yeah.
Whatever. But we in Rupp Arena, it's rocking, man. Jason Williams is putting on a show. I mean, him and Kenyon Weeks is putting on a show. And Billy calls a set. And I think the play before he called a set, Brent had messed up defensively. And then it came down, he called a set on the offensive end, and I got the ball and I just abandoned the set. Like I ripped through baseline. Yeah, I broke the play. I ripped through baseline. Pat, they there. Hey, Pat, they are there. Hey, they there in help side defense. Bleed, charge. I get a charge. So now, next thing you know, buzzer. Me and Brent getting subbed out. So you know this. every time when you come out the game, if you play for Billy Donovan, there's a chair between him and the coach so they can sit you down, critique you on what you went through, you know, what happened, and then you get your stuff and you walk down to your spot on the bench, right?
Right.
This particular time, me and Brent got subbed out. We looking for our chair to go for Coach Pell or Coach Grant to talk to us and tell us X, Y, and Z, what we did wrong, what was going on. Billy say, no, go to the end of the bench. So I look at Brent look at me. So I'm like, all right. So we go to the end of the bench. So now, you know, the camera's right there. Like, it's right there by the bench. So Billy, he leans over. Me and Brent are sitting on the end of the bench. He leans over and he puts his hand over his mouth like this. And he says to Brent and myself, he says, you guys have to be two of the sorriest MFers I ever recruited. Hey, Pat, now it's two things that can happen there. You could sink or you could swim.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
And the only reason Billy Donovan came at Brent and myself like that because he knew what we was made of. Yeah, he knew that he probably couldn't come at another guy. He knew what that was going to do for me and Brent.
Right.
And I remember saying to myself, like, man, this guy crazy. Did he just say this on national TV? Like, we playing Kentucky? And I remember saying, Brent, hey, Brent, we got to prove him wrong. It was never one of those things like, man, I'm transferring. Man, I want to leave. It was always one of those things like, we got to prove him wrong.
Right.
We got to prove, hey, guys, we got to, hey, coach being an asshole today. Like, we got to prove him wrong. Like, he just coming there like with a chip on his shoulder. I'd be like, man, what's wrong, man? We got to talk to Christine. Like, what's going on? You understand? Like, but that was his way, bro. That was his way of making us come like this.
Yeah.
Like, we love Coach, but we would die for each other. You understand? So that was his whole mind game of, let me get these, because he knew Brent and I, man, we could lead, me and Brent could lead that team to destruction, or we could lead it to the correct way. So he knew that he had to get us on one page and had to get us together.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Coach for that, because what it taught me, man, it taught me tough love. It taught me how to deal with adversity when things not going my way. But I'm not gonna get it. I know you got other questions, but that's a story. That's a story. That's a story, man. Coming, you know, I'll never forget that. But he never had to say that again.
Yeah.
You know, we never had those issues again because we understood. We understood from that point on.
Yeah, it's amazing how you say that you can sink or swim in that moment. You can say, you know, obviously emotions are high, and there's a lot behind that game. And we look at masculinity in that time, our competitive nature. You know, Coach Donovan didn't mean it in that way, but whatever, you know, that's why coaches got to be so dynamic. You know, you already know being a coach is tough. You got to be dynamic. Sometimes you got to really light a fire under somebody to get them to look in the mirror and be like, what he just said to us? What? We about to prove him wrong. Like whatever. And that, if that, you know, sometimes you do need to break it down and talk to guys and get them on the same. Sometimes you just got to get on them hard. Coach Donovan, he has a really good balance. And what I love about him is that I guarantee you, you know, the next day it was like forgiveness. Everything's on. Like it's just like you move past it. It's not. It was no. He ain't holding on to this.
Bro, it was like
moved on, wiped it. Like, I love him,
man. It was like your dad, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, deep down inside, this is what people have to realize, especially fans and the media and all that. As ball players and also as coaches, like, we're all in this together. Like, you're with your team majority of the time. So Coach Donovan, your teammates, they know Pat. Like, they know Pat. They know when something's going on with Pat. They know when Pat's trying to hide something. Like, they know when something's going on. And so with Billy knew, like, with Brent and myself, bro, we can take anything. We not going to break. You understand? Like, okay, go run through that brick wall. Run through the brick wall, come back with a brick. What's up, coach? What else you want? I'm just, you know, that was our motto, bro. That's how we built things. You know, like, Brent probably lost 5 games in high school total. I lost less than 14 games total in high school. So you're talking about understanding sacrifice, understanding team. So we came from that. We understood that. And Billy knew that we understood that because he recruited us. So whenever we got out of character of that, he knew how to get us back in place of that.
That's why the recruiting process is so important in the sense of, is that coach, can I ask, is this coach really being authentic?
Yes.
Is he being hopefully, is he just blowing smoke up my butt, or is he, truly telling me what I don't want to hear, as far as being real, being courageously truthful to me of like, instead of just trying to make me, be happy that he's going to tell me all these great things. Because the way that they're going to recruit you, it might shift when you get there. And, maybe it's always going to shift because they're actually finally coaching you. But is he aligning his actions as a coach to the vision that he instilled in you when he was recruiting you, of saying, that's so important.
Bro, I remember one time Mike Miller had a bad game or a bad practice. I don't know which one it was, but coach went down the line. He was giving it to all of us. But I remember specifically what he said to Mike. His thing was, he said, and you, Mike Miller, they say you're a lottery pick. I can't tell. You look like a scratch-off ticket that I could go buy at the gas station. You understand? And I remember sitting there like, yo, he just said that to Mike. Like, Mike 6'9", skating with the ball. shoot the laces off this thing. But coach always held everybody accountable, Pat. And I know you got it. You understand?
Oh, man.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. So, but that's what you appreciated. Coach. Not in that time. Not then in that time. But that's what you appreciated, man.
Man,
Matt Bonner, do you understand how bad Matt Bonner used to get it?
Oh, let me hear. Matt Bonner used to get it good?
The Red Rocket, what they call it? Oh, Matt Bonner. You got to understand, Matt Bonner had to go up against Donnell Harvey, Brent Wright, Udonis Haslam every day. Every day, Pat. Every day.
Them feet of his, as fast as they ain't catching up with all that athleticism.
No, man. But that's why Bonbon played so long he played.
Right.
You understand? He went through that. He didn't give up. When most guys these days, they got a Brent Wright, a Udonis Haslam, a Donnell Harvey in front of them, they out of there. They not making it through the first semester. No, I'm not staying here. I'm only playing 12 minutes a game. No, I'm not waiting my turn. I'm not going to develop. But then you wonder why guys get to the league early and now it's over.
Yeah.
And now it's this. Because they never went through those, like you said, the process.
Oh, yeah. And you already know it's a bit, when you take that jump to be a professional, it's different. It is getting fined, getting cut, getting traded, whatever it may be. It's none of that putting up with you. It's business at this point. But through your career, and speaking of Brent, I hope when you can help me set up getting him on the show. I would love for you to co-host that one with me. Your buddy. That would be awesome. So in your tenure, you had the blessing of playing for a national championship. Building up into that from your freshman year to that, in 2000 national championship is a multi-level question. Did you guys envision that you could do it? Did you really truly? I know the answer is already yes, but what was that process and that built that confidence? And then you got to tell us, what was it like playing? You started that game. What was it like playing in a national championship game? I didn't get a chance to do that.
It was Pat. Let me say, like building up to that, man. I mean, first of all, the strength and conditioning part of the program is so vital because when you're back against the wall, you're down by 10 with 2 minutes to go, you're not thinking about X and O's. You're thinking about pushing that 315 off your chest. You're thinking about that last suicide. You're thinking about that guy pushing in your back to make that last drill. All the strength and conditioning comes into play. And we had a great strength and conditioning coach that instilled. Rob Glass was there my freshman year. And when I say, man, Rob was more of a football guy than a basketball guy, but it's just the toughness that he put in us.
Yeah.
Like the no quit, like to see Udonis Haslam break down.
Wow.
The one of the toughest guys I know break down, you know, it's like, it's real. It's real, man. And those are the moments that build and helped us get ready for the national championship. You understand? Those things. Those are the things that helped us get over those humps, that kept us together. All of that. So that played a very important role in that. And then just going to the national championship, man. Like I said, I grew up and I watched the Meat Hook and Dan Cross and Andrew DeClerc. I seen them go to the Final Four, Pat. I seen them play against the Dukes. I seen this, you know, and I saw them lose in the Final Four. And I just always remember, and I used to say to Brent all the time, bro, we got to get to the championship. We got to win, you know. So that was very, very important. And then when we got there, it's like when you in the tournament, it's like excuse me for a second. Kalani, please.
It's all good. We can edit everything.
We get baby,
that's why we got a producer.
Daddy's on the phone. Let me use it, okay? Go upstairs, please. Let me finish. Go upstairs.
We don't have too much longer.
Go upstairs, please. Please. I promise I'll come play with you and your dolls in a second. Please, just go upstairs.
We're almost done.
All right. But yeah. Making it to that national championship, bro.
Yeah.
It was a feeling that it all was worth it. It was all the sacrifice, all of the being told you was this, you was that.
Right.
You know, Mike, you know that Mike Miller hit a huge shot against Butler that year. The carrier.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You understand? Yeah, Mike hit a huge shot, man. And the crazy part about it, Teddy will never admit it, but Teddy got the assist for that. But the only reason Teddy got the assist because his butt tripped over his feet. He was gonna shoot the ball. You understand? But it's just, you know how it is, Pat. It's those little things like that can change the whole perspective of everything, man. Like we went to Hawaii that year. That year we made it to the Final Four. We went and played in Hawaii. And we were like number 3 in the nation, bro. And we got smacked by Purdue. Purdue smacked us. And it was such a humbling experience because, you know, we had the number 1 recruiting class. It was this, it was that. Brett Nelson, you know, we was live and popping. But we went to Hawaii, got smacked. And the team kind of fell apart. It was a lot of selfishness going on, a lot of pointing the fingers and, you know, this and that. And then I'm not gonna lie, me and Brent, we was being rebellious. You understand? We were just, you know, we was just being rebellious and man, to see a team go from that to where we made it.
Yeah.
You know, it was the grace of God. It was through God, man, because we went through a lot of stuff that year, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of personal stuff from the coaching staff. It was just a whole lot of stuff that brought us together. And then when Mike hit that shot, it was just like, hey, man, we don't care. It don't matter. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. We good. Like, it don't matter, man. Like, Dave Clue was a walk-on. Dave, man, you want to score 20, you can score 20, bro. It don't matter. You understand? Right. Like, whoever get off, you get off. As long as we win and advance. Yeah. That was the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing, man.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. So like that, it was a huge accomplishment. I think it was a great thing that for Coach Donovan and his coaching staff.
Right.
You know, Billy.
Especially he inherited the program after Lon Kruger was getting the school was under investigation.
Yeah.
Donovan was told not to take the job. Rick Pitino told him do not take the job at Florida, and Coach Donovan being the one. His great relationship with Jeremy Foley. They had a vision for what the program, because he just wants it so much, and he just not in a way And what I love about Coach Donovan, it's never about cutting corners.
No,
Never, ever about cutting corners.
No.
It's about staying present in the moment and doing the work, going through the process. Do you remember what he said to you guys before that game? Because I never got that experience going into the championship game. Yeah, do you by chance remember that?
Bro, it was just going into that game. It was a mental mind state. It was more of the game's already played. It's over with. You guys already win. You already won, excuse me. We're in the locker room next door. We're celebrating. Visualize all of that. See yourself knocking down the game-winning free throw. See yourself getting the last rebound to win the game. That was the biggest message that we got before the game, was just visualizing. You already did it. You don't prepare. You've been his biggest thing, he never wanted us to play uptight. Right. Tournament time came, literally, you know how Billy was on getting tape. You had to be taped for everything. My ankles got to be taped for every game, every practice, every this. Pat, come tournament time, I go get my ankles taped, I'm cutting that tape off. I got to feel loose. You understand? I do not want to leave this game saying, man, the reason I didn't cut hard because the tape was cutting my foot out. It made me feel this way. I took everything back to the park. At the park, I ain't play with tape.
Right.
At the park, I ain't do it this way.
Yeah.
I took it all back to that, man. It all went back to my childhood of being relaxed and just playing ball, having fun. Because we already know what's going to happen. It's going to be a winner. It's going to be a loser. We already know that. So why go out there and be uptight? Why go out there and be nervous? Why be scared to make a play? That was his thing. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid. So actually, if you look at the stats, when we played in the tournaments, our numbers actually went up. Because we played more, we played a lot looser. We played a lot looser come tournament time. So it was awesome, man.
Yeah, I think
it was an awesome experience.
You and your class have, I think, up there with mine with the number of tournament game wins, postseason wins.
Mm-hmm.
In the double digits, which is, a lot of guys go through college and never get a single win. Never get a win, never make the tournament, whatever it may be. But let's transition. So you graduated last year,
Mm-hmm.
01. Fantastic time, fantastic career.
Yeah.
What was your mindset after you finished school? Because I know you went to go pro for a few years, and what
my mindset was this, Pat. I got this body that's chiseled.
Yep.
I'm looking like I'm 4% body fat. Understand?
Yeah.
But Pat, I never played football. Never. I'm at the University of Florida. I got Steve Spurrier, and I've been playing basketball all my life. I'm that confident in my basketball game that I could go play a year of football and try this and go back to basketball. Okay. That's how confident I am, okay? So I go to Coach Grant. I go to Anthony Grant. Coach Grant, I'm going to try football, man. What's up, MP? You going to do it? I say, Coach, I don't want to be 40 years old saying I ain't never did it. That was my main thing. I just didn't want to be 40 saying I never did it. So I went to Coach Spurrier. Coach, I want to try to play football. What position? I don't know, Coach, wherever you want me to play. Major, have you ever played football? Nope. You know how to put on the pads? Nope. I don't know how to do nothing. Nothing at all.
Right. But I'm just an athlete. Yeah.
I'm an athlete, Coach. Tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. Went out, man. I was so proud of myself, Pat, because at that time we had Alex Brown. It was All-American after All-American, like in basketball, on the football field.
Right.
And
you had Steve
Spurrier, who's come on, man, this man got a statue at the school before he was the first one to have a statue.
Yeah. Steve Spurrier Field.
Yeah, exactly. So just to have, I was so proud of myself, man, because for one, people don't know this. Like in football, you have to actually make the roster to travel. Like just because you're on the team, like you have to make that roster to be able to get on that bus to leave to go with that team.
Wow.
So, bro, when I made the travel team, like to be able to just go to the game, that was an accomplishment for me.
Wow.
Because I never played football. Then when I actually got in some games and got there, like one time I got an intentional face mask just to get my name called over the PA. I'm telling you, I did, Pat. I did. So it was, but it came back to the competition, the competitiveness. So I went and played football, man, and I enjoyed it. I thought we was going to get a national championship. We ended up losing to Tennessee that year. Tennessee went on. They lost to Miami. Miami ended up winning the championship out in the Rose Bowl, I think, that year. Andre Johnson went bananas for Miami that year.
That wasn't the Rose Bowl. Peyton Manning, was it?
Yeah, Peyton Manning. Yeah, all that.
Okay, sure
was.
Yeah,
man. It was. So that's another thing. I'm on the field with Peyton Manning. You understand? Wow. So,
dang,
playing against Florida State.
Football. Wow.
Playing against Florida State in the swamp. It was just. It was an experience.
What position did you end up getting classified as?
I ended up classifying as a defensive end. I should have stayed at tight end and been over there with Coach Spurrier because he's like Billy Donovan when it comes to offense. He's going to find a place for you.
Yeah. And you got hands. Of course you can catch. You play basketball. You can do a skill position like that.
But Pat, I was just, Pat, all them boys look the size of you. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the one initiating the contact.
Okay.
And not receiving it. And that's the truth. That's the truth. That's why I stayed on the defensive side of the ball. I was just like, man. But I should have stayed at tight end. But I had a great time. Man. Yeah, I had a great time, man. It was a hell of an experience. It was fun. It was fun. It taught me a lot. I got a chance to meet a lot of, like I said, the football players when you're on the basketball team. You see them around campus. You guys interact. You're in class. But it's totally different when you're in the locker room with somebody.
Yeah.
It's totally different when somebody have a bad game. Now you're the one that they're talking to.
Right.
So those relationships are relationships that still to this day.
Wow, man.
So with football players. So man, it's great. It was a great experience, man. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Yeah. I remember just being so happy, man. Like when I used to go look on the wall, they'd put your name on the wall and it'd be like, I made the try. I mean, I was traveling this weekend. I didn't have to stay home. You understand?
That's wild, man. I didn't even know that. That's amazing. Yeah. My dad, my dad was helping me move into my apartment. Mm-hmm. And my dad's a pretty healthy guy, but he played football, growing up, and he played a little bit of college. He played in the USFL. Okay. That's what it was back in the day. And we're walking in the hallway, and he's walking kind of slow. I don't think I'm a fast walker. And I'm like, Dad, what's going on? He's like, man, my hips. He's like, I saved you, bro. He's like, bro, I saved you. Yeah. Not letting you, because he never let me play football.
Yeah.
He's like, I saved you, bro. Trust me. Because he's probably gonna have to get hips replaced and knee at some point. He's 63 years old. But yeah, I did always have that itch, man. And it's crazy because after I graduated my senior year, I got the Saints and the Seahawks wanted me to see if I had interest in running some routes and doing like a little pro combine thing. But I was just like, man, I'm not. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So did you end up going back to basketball after that for a little bit?
I ended up going back to basketball for a little bit. I ended up doing that. Then after basketball, that's when I came back and started working for coach at UF when I took the graduate assistant position. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously there's no point in getting into details because that's way in the past. But from the things that happened after, your time at Florida, how did it, I think we all at life sometimes have something that hits us in the face and it's like, dang, I'm on the wrong path or whatever it may be. Or, going through that situation, what did you learn as a man? How did it help you continue on to change the journey and the trajectory and maybe not having the right people around you? Because, I had, not that I ever got in trouble, but at a point I realized that I have people around me that are bringing me down and not, into the man that I want to be, the upbringing I had, what was that, going through that. And then, going after that whole process, what was going through your mind and how did you use that stuff to perpetuate you to change and take control of your future going on forward?
Well, the biggest thing was looking myself in the face, looking myself in the mirror, excuse me, looking myself in the mirror and saying, Major, you be accountable for your mistakes. I do believe that people surround themselves with people that do bring them down, like you said, Pat. I do believe that, you have people that's in your circle that's not for you. But at the end of the day, me being who I am, I'm not blaming anybody for my mistakes. I did what I did, and I had to suffer a consequence for what I did. I'm not proud of what I did. I made a mistake, and the thing that it taught me was, man, and I say this to a lot of the young athletes I deal with now, is, and you probably experienced this and probably still experiencing this. The most important thing that you can do as a student athlete is surround yourself around the people that are going to continue to pat you on your back after the ball stops going through the basket.
Yeah.
You understand? It's easy. It's easy to root for Patric when he's playing for the Gators and he's dunking and he's on TV and everybody's running up to him after the game and all of that. It's easy to do it now. It's easy to do it. But who's going to be there for Pat when Pat has to cross over into the real world and deal with real things?
Yeah.
Are those people going to pat you on the back when Pat paid his light bill on time? You understand? Are those people going to pat you on your back when Patric figured out, you know what, I got to pay my mortgage on time and not be late? So my thing that I learned from it was, man, and I use a Jay-Z quote. Jay-Z said, you cut the grass, the snakes will show. You cut the grass, the snakes will show. My grass got cut because I made a mistake. And I seen a lot of snakes around me. I seen a lot of people that wasn't for me around me. And what I had to do is not bash those people, not even separate myself from those people, Pat. I hate when people say separation. I hate separation. I believe in education, not separation. I had to educate those guys. Hey, friend number one, nah, I can't do that, bro. And you shouldn't do that no more either. And this is why. I got lucky. I got lucky because I so happen X, Y, Z. You may not get so lucky. So I don't believe in separation. I believe in educating one another.
Yeah.
I believe in saying, because at one time, these same people that people tell you, man, he's a bad guy, don't be around him. That was a guy that you probably walked to school with every day. Right. That was a guy that was the guy who probably rebounded for you. That was your guy who probably took the call when you fouled at the park and he lied and said it wasn't a foul. You understand what I'm saying? That probably was that guy. So some way along the line, that guy got lost. But you was fortunate enough because you had your dad. You was able to go off to college and see different things. Now it's on us, Pat, to educate those guys.
Absolutely.
And not all of them want to be educated. But that don't mean we give up on them.
No,
exactly. That don't mean that we discredit them. You understand? So my thing was, no, I'm not going to point the finger at this guy or that guy and say, oh, because of this is why I did it. No, Major, you're a grown man. You know what you was doing. You knew the consequences or whatever. You understand? But the key thing is to learn from the mistake, take it as a lesson, and not repeat it.
Absolutely.
So that's the biggest thing, man. And to me, it's my testimony.
Yeah.
It's my testimony, Pat. Real talk. The university was great during the whole process. Mr. Foley, Coach Donovan, Coach Grant, Larry Shyatt, Donnie Jones, John Pelfrey, Tracy Path. Those people were great. Dr. Cassisi, those people were great in my life during that time.
Yeah.
And they really supported me, and it really made me understand what the University of Florida meant, what it really meant to be a Gator.
Yeah.
Because, man, they could have thrown me to the wolves.
Right.
But no, those are like Coach Donovan is a real dude, bro. Like, he's real. You understand? Like, he would go to bat for us. So to go through that experience and learn that, no, he's not only my coach. Man, this man is like he's the real deal. Like, I don't know what to call Coach. I don't know what to call him, but I know when I call him right now to this day, he picks up.
Yeah. Same.
I know it's never like, I never get the feeling of like, wow, coach is in the NBA. Wow, coach won 2 national championships. Wow, he's Billy Donovan. No, it's always the same coach that recruited me when I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And that go for John Pelfrey. That go for Donnie Jones. That goes for Anthony Grant. That goes for that list, Larry Shyatt. It goes on and on. So my hiccup, I like to call it a hiccup that I had in life. My hiccup, I would like to say, Pat, it helped me more than it hurt me. It helped me, brother, because it allowed me, first of all, now I'm sharing my story with other guys and saving other guys from going down that road.
Yeah.
But it also showed me that, man, you know what, Major? You were lucky to be recruited by Billy Donovan. Yeah, and a lot of us like to feel, a lot of people like to say, hey, Pat, you know what? Billy Donovan needed to be lucky because he was able to recruit you. No, Pat, that guy is special.
Yeah.
That guy
100%.
is special, man. He's one of the different ones. He's going to go down like it's an honor that we played for him, bro. It's the honor, man. And that's my guy. That's my guy. Like straight
You know
up
what's
and down.
crazy, man? I've never heard, and I'm, not that Coach Donovan is perfect, because we're all men, we all fall short. But I have literally never heard a single person say a bad word about Coach Donovan.
Yeah, man.
I've heard, I'm not going to say names of coaches, but I've heard of big name coaches, bad things tossed badly, this and that, all the time.
Yeah.
And I have never heard a single bad thing.
Yep.
And, you and I, we're so blessed and fortunate to have been, God allowed us to be cross paths with him, and him being a vessel to not only for basketball, to teach us the game. Because I tell you, as soon as I went overseas, and was getting coached up, I said, this ain't Florida anymore. I said, this is different.
Different, yes, sir.
The head coach don't even speak during practice.
Yeah,
he don't even. Yep. So our film session is literally only us watching the game and not getting any breakdown. So we run the same exact play. So we don't even talk about defense. So we out here just guessing. So you're gonna be over. I was like,
yeah.
But Major, man, I got one more question for you.
Okay.
Man, this has been a blessing and an honor having you on here, man. You are profound with your stories, what you're going through in life. What are you doing? Fill the people in. This is our time. I want to plug you. I mean, the whole episode is about you, but to really plug and let people know, your fans, people that are in your circle, what are you doing these days? And what is the legacy that you want to leave when it's all said and done? I guess that's two questions.
The thing that I'm doing now, Pat, man, I'm literally being a gym rat. I'm back to being a gym rat. I'm in the gym 5 a.m. in the morning to about 10 a.m. I'm back in the gym to 8 to about 12:30 at night, training kids, working kids out, preparing them for the next level. That's what I'm doing 24 hours. That's what I'm doing 24/7, bro. I'm in the gym. After I get off of this, I'm going to the gym to prepare for my workout coming up here at 4:30, 5 o'clock. My legacy, man, one of the things that I always want people to remember me as is that I'm hardworking, I'm a loyal guy, and I love my Florida Gators. Like, and then, a lot of people, it sounds cliche, but bro, like, I love the University of Florida, man. I really do. Like, I really root for everybody. Like, it's funny, and I know you go through it. Like, you could be driving and you see a Florida Gator tag. You just like, I wonder if that person know me. Or I wonder who that is. What year they was at Florida. You just get that. You get that interest, man.
Right.
So, I love being a part of that alumni base. I love being a part of that family. And then when you even extend it to us, I love being part of our percentage that we are, our family. Our basketball family. I love what you're doing. I love that you're doing this, man. It's awesome. But my thing is, man, just know that I'm a loyal guy. I was loyal. I was loyal. I was a God-fearing guy. I believe in God, and I was a loyal guy. And that's it, man. And then one thing I want to say to you, Pat, because I followed your career, man. One thing I want to say is that you was always a professional. You always carried yourself the correct way. You was always a representation of what the university wanted to represent a student athlete. You was it. I always used to say this, man, Patric, you're on the Tim Tebow of the of basketball. Like real talk, like
Yeah.
that's and that's an honor, bro, because
It
it's
is,
hard.
absolutely.
It's very hard to be on a campus with 50,000+ students and everybody know you and you the man. And you knew how to embrace that. You never was what's the word? I just lost train. You was always humble. You understand? I always took that. I always seen that with you. And I always saw that you was a professional. I don't know everything, but I just know like whatever I saw on television, whenever I came up for a game, whenever anything, I was always like, man, you know what? He don't need basketball. He gonna be all right with or without basketball.
Wow.
So, bro, there's something. I'm just letting you know that's something that all of us noticed. I'm talking about all the old heads that came, before you. Like we seen that, man, and I'm on here because of that. That's the reason I'm on this show with you, because of how you represented yourself,
man,
and how you played and all of that, man. I don't know I don't know how many points you average. I don't know how many games y'all won, but I know one thing. Every time I turned on the tube, Patric Young was going to give it his all. I knew that. So that's the cloth I'm cut from. And anybody that's cut from that cloth, I'm rocking with.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, Major. That was I was not expecting that.
Yeah. No, but bro, you know what? It's the truth. And what we got to understand and what we got to start doing as men is we got to start giving men our roses while we're still here.
Yeah.
Like it's
right.
okay. It's okay to say, Pat, I love you. It's okay to say, Pat, you're good, man.
Yeah.
And you're deserving of this. As men, we try to that prideful thing and try to hold back. But man, like I'm telling you, bro, like we it's a lot of former Gators that was fans of Patric Young. And we love you for how you represented it and how you kept that torch going, man.
Well, I gotta tell you that was the highlight of my week. I was not expecting that at all. Major, thank you so much for the compliments. I agree with you. I don't think we as men tell each other that we love each other enough, or just speak life into each other enough to help us, because we all going through struggles, and we all I think at times compartmentalize what's going on, which is so unhealthy, especially when you got brothers that care for you and love you to death, whether you play, no matter what you do, they're going to love you and be there for you. So why not open up and tell them what's going on? But Major, this is the end of our show.
Wait, one last thing.
One last thing.
I just want to give one shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan Cross, man. Big bro. I love you, big bro. Thank you for everything. You've been there for me. You talk to me. You keep me level grounded. And I appreciate it. Yeah,
absolutely, Dan. I hope we can all connect sometime soon. It was great. We had Dan Cross on the show earlier a few weeks ago. It was a great show. Dan is very involved in the community. Actually, Major and Dan are helping out with kids that have been maybe overlooked with recruiting due to COVID, and creating these showcases so they can hopefully get opportunities to still get to play some college basketball or football, whatever it may be. But anyways, Major, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to get your boy Brent on so we can co-host him. We're going to set that up sometime soon.
Got you.
Yeah, that was it, brother. Thank you so much.
Hey, Pat, good luck. Keep going, man. Anything you need, I got you.
Appreciate it. All right, my guy.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. Rowdies, that was Major Parker, forward from 97 to 2001, one of the winningest players in Florida history. Went to a national championship in 2000. Profound. A lot of great stuff there. That's why I love being a part of the show. Really diving into why we act the way we do, how this Gator family is a family that is more than just basketball. But the basketball has connected us in so many ways, through our teammates, through the coaches that have been through the program. That was an awesome episode. I'm so thankful to have been a part of it and just receiving, that compliment out of nowhere. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to this, chiming in. I hope your brackets are doing well. I hope that you will remember to download DraftKings and go ahead and try to win your $256 by betting on the underdog. If not, I will take your money if you want to give it to me. But please share this podcast. Please review it. Please pass this on to whomever would enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Patric Young out. Gator Nation, stay rowdy.